Cory Hauger, how you doing, sir?
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing things, and that's most important. That's what people care more about, right? What are you doing, not how are you doing? And
It's both. It's both.
Yeah.
It's both. You know, they fucking go hand in hand with each other for sure, dude.
No, man, I'm all right. How you been?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's been raining the last fucking 5-6 days. Just raining. It's cool. I like the rain though. You know, it gives you a different sort of the elements that you need to fucking be around to be a normal human being. You know, you got to experience that shit.
That is fair. I did move to LA to avoid that shit, but yeah, I can appreciate the necessity of all the different elements. Like, I don't know, I can appreciate rain, mostly because it's not snow. That's most important. As long as it's above freezing, any precipitation is fine. I just keep thinking of the Stain song Epiphany, where it's always raining in my head, so I can empathize with this. This
Is that one of the lyrics?
Is my mind state. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Stained.
Yeah. Well,
What's it? Aaron Lewis. Fucking. Cause I'm on the outside.
Yeah.
I'm looking in. I like that. I like Stain, dude.
Yeah,
Stain's
man.
cool, dude. I listen to a lot of fucking music. Thanks for doing this podcast with me, brother.
Oh, thanks for having me, sir.
Very nice to meet you. I know you're one of those new guys that came around the fucking haha, you know, just kind of recently.
Yeah, I just shambled in there one hot summer day.
Like all of us, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know? One hot summer day, and now you're still there, and it's raining outside, just fucking pouring, dude.
Yeah, we're just lost in the vortex.
The vortex is like something I would go through when I'm like on way too many mushrooms, dude. In a room full of black lights or some shit like that, dude.
Dude, black lights and strobe lights freak me out. I had a friend who had, like, without even doing mushrooms, he just had me in his place. He had, like, black lights and strobe lights, and he was listening to Rammstein, just, like, aggressively getting into it, like, doing the dance moves in front of me and shit.
Do us, Mish.
Yeah.
Dude, every time I've always felt like, I don't know, I've taken mushrooms in weird spots where I'm like, I'm going to take mushrooms and be like, in my parents' house for like the next 8 hours, but it's cool because they had a pretty cool house. But it was always like walking really quietly around where they sleep, you know? And shit. And then like as soon as I can get to the free areas, dude, and it's just like fucking stomping, dude. As soon as you, and then like as soon as you can get to the free areas, then you're pretty much just sneaking out and doing whatever the fuck, dude.
Yeah, man.
It was great. It was fucking great, dude. I don't know. I've always loved mushrooms, except for the parts when you're like, when you take mushrooms, terrible. They taste like rotten feet, dude. They taste like rotten fucking feet.
It
and then
literally comes from cow shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly, right? What else are you gonna do? And everybody's like, oh, well, we did this thing where we took peanut butter, honey, and chocolate and made these little drops. And then somebody else has come up to me. They're like, well, what we did was we took the mushrooms, put them in Joe caps, where you take about like 8-10 of them, you know. And then the very first experience was fucking one of my brother's buddies. He's like, what you got to do is you got to take them and you got to crush them up, and then put them into a cup, and then you fill them up with orange juice, and you just chug that shit, dude. So it's like double entendre of ultra fucking nastiness, dude. It's like you're drinking. You know when you go up to a shitty pond and you see that shit coming up to the fucking shore of the pond that's all frothy and foamy, and you're like, dude,
yeah.
Like, water's good. I like water, and it makes me thirsty, but you know, that looks gross. That's exactly what mushrooms with the fucking
That
orange
is
juice.
accurate.
Dude, they are like nasty, rotten feet, dude.
Yeah, I never understood. I guess it has to be something with the chemicals in it, but everyone's like, oh yeah, orange juice and mushrooms. Like, they're two very distinctly fucking strong sensations. Very different, but very fucking strong.
I like how a lot of people
together.
I like how a lot of people though too, when they're like trying to like sell you on something, they're like, "Oh, it's Molly, and here's what you got to do," or blah blah blah, right? And it's like, "Oh, it's mushrooms. You got to take vitamin C, and it opens up your blood vessels and allows the psilocybin to travel through your blood vessels a lot more." You're like, what?
Yeah, like I don't care. It's probably you're not gonna know the difference either way. Like it's still gonna go through you
As
no
long as you
matter
get
what.
all of them in your system, all of them, and then wash it down with all of the orange juice. All of the orange juice, dude.
Yeah.
How old were you the first time you ever took mushrooms?
Honestly, I only ever took them once. I just took them a few months ago, maybe like 2 months ago.
Really?
Yep,
And how old are you?
31.
31?
Yeah, man.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was never really around drugs like that when I was younger. And also, like, I don't like my mind that much. I don't like how everything goes on in there. And then taking something like a hallucinogen where it actively makes different shit appear to you freaked me the fuck out. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that to myself.
So you weren't a fan?
Nah, I was just not interested, sketched out by it.
Interesting. Like the only times I've never liked them was fucking right when you take them, they're disgusting, and then maybe like the time right before you know you're about to start tripping balls. You know, like you can feel it creeping up on you, just fucking like looming darkness
Just
through the
winding
fucking
up
valley
into your
and shit, dude.
brainstem.
Like everything the light touches is our kingdom, and you just see the darkness from Fern Gully just fucking putting that shit all over that. Dude, and then the last part that I don't like is fucking when you're coming down. Your farts smell terrible. And then like trying to sleep is the worst thing ever. Like trying to sleep, I don't know. That's one of those things I've never really fucking dug about.
Dude, that was actually my favorite part. It's like I didn't do a whole lot. Again, like I fucking waded into it, dipped my toes into it, just took little bit by little bit.
Yeah.
But by the end of the night, I ended up enjoying my time during it because like everything just got a little bit wavy. I was like, I found out that I'd overanalyzed myself to the point where I was like, oh, I've already had all the weird thoughts that would happen from a mushroom trip.
Just over
Like this is just more of my stream of conscious, and that's fine. But when I ended up going to sleep, I took more, and I was just laying there all super comfortable. That was one of the more comfortable sleeps I've ever had, actually.
That's interesting. You took more before you fell asleep?
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. You like fell into a sleep when you're like about to start tripping. Did you wake up and you were tripping at all?
No. But when I was going to sleep, I cocooned myself, basically. Like, I was all mummified in there and shit.
All I want to do is just feel warm right now.
Just weighted down by blankets and gravity.
How much do you think you took that
accepting
night?
it.
How much do you think you took that night?
2 or 3 caps, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you didn't really have estimated like, an eighth or a quarter or
Yeah, nah. Just grabbed a little bit here and there.
That's interesting. That's probably one of the safe ways to do it, dude. I've dosed myself, and like the max that I've gotten to was like probably a quarter and a half. So like fucking 2/8 and a half. So that's fucking 10.5 grams of mushrooms, dude. I don't know. My thing is like, I don't know. When it comes down to shit like that, I've always tried to push myself. Yeah, like that wasn't the first time that I've ever done mushrooms, you know? But it was like one of the fifth or sixth times, and I'm like, let's see how far we could fucking take this.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Probably not that far.
Dude, I saw a fucking cloud people and walking in the clouds, and I'm like laying in the middle of a fucking sprinkler system going on, dude. Thank God it was summer. That was the best part. It was summer and I didn't really catch it and shit, but I'm just getting soaked and not paying attention to the sprinklers going on, looking at the cloud people like walking back and forth, and then they start handing me a fucking mug full of beer. They're like, here, drink this. I'm like, what? Cool. I'm like, that's when I knew I was kind of way too fucked up. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to grab a mug from people in the clouds, you know?
Yeah,
like,
other people seeing it might take you out of the moment. Oh shit, I'm on mushrooms. I'm just a dude on mushrooms in the middle of a crowd.
It's weird how nature interacts with that kind of, hallucinating. Like nature kind of has like a part in that. You always wondered, like Indians, fucking whoever discovered fucking eating mushrooms and was like, that's a fucking crazy thing. But then, like in Oregon right now, they're trying to make psilocybin mushrooms legal for more like depression.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's one of those things though too. I can bear with, because I've dealt with depression for sure. Going to like comedy clubs, I'm sure everybody in that room's dealt with depression. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you go through the 5 stages in a comedy open mic for sure.
for sure, dude.
By the end of it, everyone just accepts it. Like, that happened and we survived it. And I guess
Together,
we just
though.
move on to another.
Together, you know? And that's kind of one of those things, though. It's like an appreciative factor of like, you start learning who everybody is doing stand-up comedy, you know? Like,
Yeah.
people have asked me, they're always like, who are your favorite comics? I'm like, dude, as long as they're not faking, as long as they're not boring. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody. I like everybody, dude.
Yeah.
You know, because it like there's gonna be those spots to where like you're interesting or to where you're just listening. It's like listening to a dial tone. You know? But it's also somebody like, and I've done it too, for sure, to where you're like, okay, how much time do I have left? And you're just trying to drag it on through, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've spent many minutes just waiting for a light to pull me off of the stage. Just like, oh, I really wish I hadn't signed up for this, but I did, and I'm just going to endure it until I'm done.
It's all about learning, though.
Yep.
You know? It's all about learning. It's a
all
gym,
builds.
dude. It's a gym, you know? That's how I look at it. That's how I look at, like, the haha. It's a gym, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, going to these other spots, they're all gyms.
It's just
I'm not, like, you can't expect anything from anybody. Like, who's going to come in there, blah, 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 blank, celeb, fucking blah, 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 blah. Like, who gives a fuck, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, mostly what I find, an open mic is basically a comedian's studio time. It's you going into the dark room to get all the thoughts out. And you're in the middle of the creative process, so you're still building everything, but you're just flailing things out, waiting for other people to validate it. And you're just like, oh, like your producer is just the audience.
But the difference though between performing in front of a bunch of comedians and a bunch of like actual people that are there to see a comedy show, big difference. You know? Because it's like while like you go to open mics and it's like, yeah, watching everybody just wail on guitars and you know, just fucking a lot of people are dope, dude.
Yeah.
But it's also then, you know, just learning the whole aspects of that. Like learning how to go up and control a stage, learning how to go up and hold a microphone, learning how to go up there and just stand on the stage, like just little teeny tiny aspects of like making yourself better and better.
Yeah, and it's weird because comedy is so unique and individualized. Like, it's very individualized. The whole point of it is to be unique. So just building on the foundation of who you are is something that I enjoy a lot. Because it essentially is only you. Like, everything else, there's an extra platform involved with it. It's either other people on stage with you that you're working around or instruments that you're tuning in rhythm with other people. Comedy is the only thing, like stand-up comedy is the only thing where it's just you. You're the sole focus of it, so everything encompasses, and you have to be more aware of what you're doing than in every other thing. Because the best part about it, though, is that even when you fail, there's still chances for it to be successful. Because comedy is either tragedy or failure. You know what I mean? It's either what you're...
Bittersweet. It's all bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know? Can you take the bitter with the sweet? Can you take the sweet with the bitter? For sure.
But I lost my train of thought mostly.
Sorry to interrupt you.
You're good.
You were saying like comedy is like, yeah, it's like taking, you know, it's like the tragedy and the comedy, and for sure. But there's also what I've noticed too is there's also the work that goes behind it, you know? And like that's kind of the next part of like being an open micer is the work that goes behind it, like actually writing and fucking finding and building time so you can, you know?
Yeah.
And then networking is another factor, but then there's all these other factors, but just making yourself a confident comedian is one of those things.
That feels like an oxymoronic statement.
It totally can be, and it is sort of, but it's not, you know? It's like it is and it's not. It's like a fisherman that goes out and he's been fishing for 20 years, but also like one day he comes back with nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. It all depends on the seas. Everything, and the stage is different every single time.
And it should be though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the fluctuation, the functionality that you got
Yeah.
to kind of go through. Like I don't know. That's worth it though. That's one of those reasons why like sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to go to the same spots. I'm gonna go to weird like bar shows and fucking,
Yeah, that's fair.
just to get the weird fucking vibe out because it's like you're performing in front of other people.
Mm-hmm. It's a different type of crowd too. Because if you do it in the same spots, you get used to the type of crowd that'll end up being there. Like it won't be the same crowd, but in general, the same type of people end up frequenting the same types of places. So if you go from a comedy club to a bar, like a dive bar, then you're gonna get an entirely different aura of the crowd, like a different feel from what these people are gonna respond to. And in general, yeah, those are the building blocks. That's the most important thing mostly is the variety of shows because you have to be prepared for everything. Every kind of scenario can and probably will happen in a comedy stage because that's the
Especially
blessing and
here.
curse of it, I guess. Like it's so free, like, and there's no real expectations, but there's expectations of laughter, and that's so subjective that every single time is different. And it's exciting and also terrifying. And that's why people say it's the hardest thing in the world. It's not that it's like the most daunting, but it's just so unassumingly invariable. Like
Do you think
it's so simple, but
do you think
the most
do
complicated.
you think it has to do with like people just being completely honest with themselves though too?
Yeah, there's that.
But
There's
then there's also like
insecurities.
people being like way too honest with themselves to where they, it's like some shit you shouldn't say on stage.
Mhm.
There's probably some shit you shouldn't say on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, that the art of stand up is presenting the information you want to say in a way that gets people to respond with laughter. Now, you can say the things that you want, but people won't always respond with laughter, especially if you don't have a punchline. You got to subvert the thing that they're expecting. If you just say the thing that people are expecting, they're going to be
Or
like,
you just say a
"Oh,
bunch
this
of
is a
shit.
fun TED Talk. What are we doing, though?"
Or you just then it's if it's nothing like informational, like at least if you can fucking grab them like with something that's like, a little like
Truthful, but
informational and fucking yeah, and then you're missing all the laughter, but then people are like, oh, I would just keep talking about fucking code
yeah.
or some shit, you know?
Well,
But then
yeah.
there's like the lines to where it's like, oh, this is just a drunk person. Fucking rambling. That's one of those big kickers though too. I don't know. I've been hosting that haha open mic for fucking I don't know 75 years now. I don't know.
right.
Hold on. I actually don't know. I think since maybe last summer. Whatever. It's cool. It's made me a better comic for sure. Like I've taken advantage of that. It was an opportunity. I took advantage of the opportunity. You know, I'm not gonna like grasp way too much more than I should from it because there's really not too much I can. Just learning, meeting people, networking, listening. Listening was one of those big things, you know. Just even listening is one of those things that makes you a good comic because it's like comic communicator, kind of like work hand in hand with each other, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like listening, not just somebody that just, oh, there's all my blatant thoughts and blah 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 blah, and oh, by the way, I'm fucking right.
Yeah.
And then with a fucking smashing ego to follow through, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, no. I like saying the things that I intend on saying, and then you wait for how people react. And then you're like, oh, that I'm an idiot for that, or whatever. If they don't like it, then they're right. Oh, at the end of the day, the audience is always right to an extent.
That's kind of like one of those concepts of like if you're running a business, like the fucking customer is always right, but like even if you know in your heart that they're wrong, they're always right. It's like kind of an like contradictive, ironic thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. Uh,
Corey's over there finger fucking his phone.
I am. Yeah, he caught me. Finally caught me. I'm sorry. I'm just finishing.
It's all good, brother. It's all good.
Fucking.
It's all good, dude. For your 6 months, dude, you're fucking making progress.
That's what people say. That's a fun thing to hear. You're getting better. Then what? Where?
Well, I mean, don't expect when people give you praise, like you think everybody's gonna start throwing you fucking barrels of meat and roses and money and cash and shit.
I could take meat. Just give me some dried foods.
Just some meat, you know.
Some jerky
on
and
a
trail
ham hock,
mix.
dude. Just a ham
Oh
hock.
yeah, man. A deep fried turkey leg.
Yeah, it's like you can't expect too much. I know there's a lot of there's a lot of people that talk shit about a lot of people too. They're like, oh, they're not very funny and blah 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 blah, and then you see them perform like trying to go out and call fucking other people out, and I'm like, First of all, I don't know why you're going out of your way and you're trying to talk shit about these people. But some of them do the work though, dude.
Yeah.
Some of them have better resources than, others,
Yeah.
for sure. And that's just kind of how this shit works out.
Yeah,
but-
in general, definitely. I don't hate on anybody. There's personalities that I'm not a fan of, even in comedy. That
Definitely mine for sure.
Yeah, man, you're good. You try. Like the opposite side of the spectrum of confidence is me, and I can appreciate that. But in general, like in dealing with comedians, like I get it. I appreciate anyone who's willing to go out there and try to make a connection with people to get them to laugh. I think comedy is a good thing. It's a positive impact in a negative environment. Like,
ooh, that's a good point. It can be placed like that because people want to be so sensitive and shit about that, and they're like, "Yo, tell me jokes." Like, what do you think? I got all these jokes from like a Scholastic book fucking order. Remember that shit growing up in fucking school? I used to get all those books, fucking joke book, fucking Scholastic. Like, I never was a comedian back then, or so I heard or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like,
yeah, dude.
Scholastic book orders and shit.
Yeah.
You ever get those? Okay, cool. So as long as we can relate to that, then I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
a
you have, like-
relatable comic.
you have like a book fair. At
They're
the
like, no, we
school
only
and-
did this on the West Coast. The Mid Coast was the Scholastic or Elastic or no, I don't know.
Elastic, Scholastic.
The Elastic book order. Fucking here you go, bro.
Aw, that's mighty kind, good sir.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of that good go around. We're living in Los Angeles, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just try to be the best thing I like is I like being myself. That's key to me, you know?
Yeah.
Key. I can understand how people use stand up as like a therapeutic tool, but to where it goes too far to where it's like, oh, it's making ruckus in the whole stand up community. Like we're a whole body and there's also antibodies to kick the fucking shitty bodies out, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Alt comedy is a thing that's rising. I don't
even know what alt means. Alt, it's like somebody trying to label music and they're like alternative contemporary rock. You're
Yeah.
like, what does that
Sure.
mean? Alternative to what?
Nothing.
Like the other rock that was actually
Regular rock that people
that was
enjoyed.
actually all like adult contemporary. You're like, what does contemporary mean? You're like, well, it's sort of that thing. I'm like, dude, I like some of these artists, but what does that mean? So that never really fucking rolled through my head. So alt comedy, would you say like, who would you say would be like an alt comedian? Am I an alt comedian?
No. I don't know, Callahan.
Do you think he is though?
Yeah.
Not really though. He's just like, not really.
Well, like, okay,
he's straightforward though. He doesn't like walk on any weird lines or anything. He's straightforward though.
what I think of as alt comedy is something like Dimitri Martin. You know what I mean? Like, you go there expecting a comedy show and he's pulling out charts and having these weird thoughts, drawing diagrams, playing a guitar. Like, it's just a different experience that doesn't have the same premise set up.
So would you say like guys like would you say like guys like Gallagher and fucking Carrot Top, and who else are other guys that would do shit like that? Smashing stuff. I think those are the only two guys with like props and stuff that
Yeah.
I could bring up.
Yeah, they.
I'm
pretty
probably
much,
I know like a good or no. Jeff Dunham's more ventriloquist. Like you can't. But then you could bring him into and be like, oh, he's all comedy and ventriloquist because of the stuff he talks about. But then the way he, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. It would be cool to kind of see one of those guys like Jeff. I want to see like one of those dudes probably do a set like Jeff Dunham shows up at the Comedy Store or some shit like that, you know, and does a set. He could do it. I bet
Yeah,
you. No, I
sure he'd
guarantee
be
you. I
fine.
guarantee you he'd do it, dude. I guarantee you because he's all those voices that he writes for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not one. I bet you he could probably drop the puppets and fucking do a fucking bit for. He could go up there for 15 seconds and fucking.
Well, he does. He does open up his sets with like
By
a bit of
himself.
stand up. Yeah, man. Cause yeah, at the end of the day, you're right. It is just all him doing it. So he can throw the voices or not. Like, I appreciate ventriloquists. I appreciate all those people who are finding other ways to bring like inanimate objects or anything into the thing. If you can give life to
Like
a fucking
Mankind
puppet,
from WWF, he brings a sock
Sock.
puppet in. You're
Hey,
like,
man.
where's that sock coming from? I don't know, but you're a wrestler. And you're about to take it in the mouth. Maybe it's the same sock that's been in the other mouths of other wrestlers. You're like, oh, this is so gross.
yeah, but also endeared by millions. You know what I mean? Like people fucking loved that sock.
That's
Yeah.
so true, dude.
Yeah.
As soon as the sock comes out, you know you fucked
Mm-hmm.
up, dog. You fucked up. He's about to shove that shit in your fucking what? He like shove it underneath your tongue, right? I think that was the thing,
Yep. Yeah.
think he did
it was,
like- I think
it was
he
the
did-
mandible claw, but
right?
oh, did he change? I'm sure he changed the name of it.
I think you're right. It was some shit like that. Socko.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy,
Dude, that got him a tag team with The Rock, and they had the Rock and Sock connection. You know what I mean? That sock got him far.
That's so fucking gross. He's just like, yo, you know where this sock's been? Stone Cold Steve Austin mouth. Jake the Snake's mouth. Fucking, and I haven't watched it one day.
Not Jake the Snake.
No,
I was
not
super.
Jake the
I
Snake.
was super into wrestling when I was a kid. Like,
You're
because it was
coming down.
awesome.
You're shutting me down with the fucking history, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll take it for sure. The fucking
No, man, we live in a Google society now. People fact checking. I don't feel like getting fucking, oh, you know, some random person will see this and will also acknowledge that I'm acknowledging this and it'll be weird.
and they'd
I
be
don't
like,
understand
wow.
the internet anymore, I don't think.
It's just another community.
Yeah.
It's like people that like all lay on their backs in bed or on their couches and want to hang out still. You know?
Oh, I
But
mean,
talk
yeah.
about not wanting to hang out at all.
Yeah. I've been a silent observer to hours of podcasts myself. You know what I mean? I've been among there. And it's
Who's
nice.
your favorite podcast?
Who's my favorite? Probably Rogan, I guess. It's 3 hours. He gets a lot of different people in there. It's varying perspectives.
He gets the best people in there.
Well, it's because he has like a thorough, in-depth, just off-the-cuff conversation. Like, it's conversational enough to keep them engaged and present in the moment, but he's aware enough that he's broadcasting to people, that he keeps questions coming and keeps beats going that he knows people want to talk about. And that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a more free-form radio show, essentially.
It's supposed to be a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I think I agree with you, dude. He's got the best one because he's like the middleman for like cool people.
Yeah.
That like, you know, dude, he admits he's just like, dude, I'm a guy that works out a lot. I got lucky. You know, he's like, I work out a lot. I got lucky. I'm a comedian. I have the best life ever, dude. But he's like the middleman for like the normal guys, you know? And he brings like fucking tomorrow, I guess he's got like Mike Tyson on his show. He brings fucking all these fucking crazy people, Elon Musk. Brings
Dude,
great comedians
yeah.
on there. Theo Vaughn, Crystalia, fucking.
As with many people, we're all still waiting on that Kanye one, but that's still apparently coming. Now Joe Rogan's going to talk with Kanye West for hours.
It'll come. It'll happen.
There's no way Kanye doesn't storm out of that.
No. I don't think Joe Rogan's got it in him to let him do that.
I don't know. He turned on Sway, dude, for like no reason. And Sway is the best. Like,
well, I don't know. Maybe it's because Kanye is just a little more. He's just irrational himself. Like he's just maybe. I mean, I can't answer for the guy because I don't know the guy, but maybe he's one of those dudes that's like, fucking what? You're married to one of the chicks that every girl in the world wants to look like, or some shit, And then also it's like, you're making all this music and everybody wants to be a producer like you for all these other producers and all these other like rap musicians. And it's like one of those things like you can't really comprehend what's going through a mind like that. It's like he's got one of those lives that it's not a normal person's life anymore, Like he's so far past having a normal person's life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's one of those things that he probably thinks about, though, too. Sometimes it'd be like brushing his teeth and just like looking in the mirror. He's like, dude, I remember that fucking day that I woke up and it was like right before I had a shit ton of money. Like right before I had a shit ton of money. And I felt like it was cool because I was like struggling to where it was like working it. And now everything just jumps into me. Like those people don't, but it also, like what we're doing, though, too, right? Doing stand-up comedy. Fucking, well, think about it though too. Like, it's crazy to want to achieve what we want to achieve. Though, it's crazy to an extent, But it also takes crazy people to do crazy things.
Yeah, I get. They say most geniuses are on like a spectrum. Like, it's a real fine line between genius and insanity, something like that. Where, like, yeah, the creative mind.
Who says that? Like, people that have never achieved that, people who've been on the cusp with that. But it's also, it's one of those things, it's like people that want to be, like, a skydiver or something. It's like, that's one of my biggest fears is skydiving. You done that?
No, I'm never going to skydive. That's absurd.
That's my last fear of all the fears, dude. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna walk around and be scared of bears. Like if I'm in the middle of the forest, like, oh, there's bears here and I gotta be scared all the time. I'll be aware of them. If I see a bear, yeah, I get scared. That moment, oh fuck, it kills me.
I get freaked out by bees. No matter
what. Are you allergic to them?
I don't think so. But like I got stung when I was like 2 or 3, and
you didn't like it, and you remember not liking it.
Yeah,
dude. My biggest one was the fucking yellow jackets, dude. Yellow jackets, for those of you who are listening, yellow jackets are not like bees. They're those ones that have the black and the yellow, and then they just fucking sting you and sting you and sting you because they just feel like it's fun. Now, like bees sting you, and then they fucking leave the stinger and they go die.
Yeah.
Yellow jackets, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I don't like my least favorite, both because it's a shit animal and it has a shit name, the wasp. SP sounds are the worst, no matter what. But a wasp is just a gnarly little piece of shit. And when I was in Japan, because I spent time in Japan.
Grasp.
Yeah.
Have you ever grasped it onto a wasp?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I spent time in Japan, and over there they have what they call a giant red hornet, I think, and
the one that kills spiders and shit. Is that what it is?
Yeah, because they were legitimately like fucking this big, and I got confronted with one. Like, I had to say confronted by one. Bird? Oh, yeah, essentially, yeah, but also with the giant fucking stinger and scales, because it's an insect, not a bird.
Scales? Like half insect, half lizard?
Nah. But no, it's mostly just a really giant fucking hornet, and that scared the shit out of me, and I had to be around it for a while. And I did see a fucking hornet fight a spider in real life once. That I fucking just remembered that. That's funny.
A hornet fighting a spider?
Yeah, there was one at a shack because essentially, I guess I'm just gonna broadcast to people now. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force, security forces, which means I mostly sat in boxes, like what you were doing,
You did your
securing
thing, man.
places. When I was in Korea, there was a dude who had a post, and there was a spider web there. And there was fucking a hornet stuck in there. And then he called us all over there. We all sat around and just watched them go at it for like 20, 30 minutes.
You're sick, Cory. You are fucking sick. No,
I'm an observer. I was
you're
not
an
a part of it.
dude.
I've
seen the same thing.
I wasn't jerking off and coming on it to see if it would make it harder for him. I wasn't
It was
seeing
like, hold
if
on.
extra obstacles
Let
would
me eat
incur.
some of this juice, too, and then fucking, like, kill this fucking... Dude, what the fuck, Cory? No, like, dude, I used to have this gig working as a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman, and, dude, door to door, trying to sell $3,000 vacuum cleaners, right? And we got the assignment to go down because they were trying to spread the whole fucking company from Reno down to like Vegas. There was already Kirby vacuum cleaners, but they wanted to have their own down there, right? So we got the assignment to kind of like move in quick and move on like the outskirts. So we fucking jump into Pahrump. You know where Pahrump is? Pahrump is on the outskirts of Vegas.
Okay.
Like on the outskirts of Vegas. Pahrump is like the same sound that Vegas makes when it farts, dude. Just fucking Pahrump, you know? And so it's like these fucking, dude, it's like these mobile homes and they're spread within each other. The distance is like, oh man, fucking 250 yards. Like, there's a lot of space out there. Probably closed now, you know?
Probably.
But, so when I'd go to these houses to knock on the doors and be like, hey, you want a fucking $3,000 vacuum cleaner? They had all these fucking like black widows and shit like growing on the side of their fucking, you know, like where the rain gutters were and all that. And at the same time, when I'd be just walking across the street or walking on the street, they had these massive grasshoppers, dude.
Yeah.
They were like this big, right? They're this big, and they would fucking be like, brrr, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like the size of like a Twinkie, dude, flying by you, right? And this thing, fucking, I go up to this house. I'm about to knock on the door. Thing flutters by me, fucking goes boop, hits the fucking side of the house, falls into a black widow's nest. Black Widow comes out. I didn't even knock on the door. I just sat there and watched, dude.
Nice.
And that was crazy. I was like, wow, I didn't even think a Black Widow had it in them, dude.
They are pretty gnarly motherfuckers.
Like to Peter's rights and all that shit, what am I supposed to do? Like fucking tap in there because you're the bigger person. Like, no, I'm just like, dude, that Black Widow won dinner for like probably the next 3 nights, dude. For sure. Like fucking on a whim, dude. Like,
Yeah, man.
You know, that's like getting a scratch off lottery ticket for $150. Like you won.
Yeah.
I've never really won on scratch off lottery tickets, dude. Never. I just I don't know. I always tend to waste my money.
What?
Scratch off lottery tickets?
Yeah, of course. That's the point. That's why they're still in business. They make more money than they give out, obviously.
So they can pay for the fucking $17 billion lotto.
My one like true victory in gambling of any sort like that, I was at a slot machine. I had $1. Like I was 18 at the I had $1. You know what I mean? I put $1 in and I won $30. This is 30 times what I started with, and that's the best victory I think I could ever probably have.
29. Because you spent the $1 still. You ever play penny slots, dude? And they fucking like...
No, that's what it was. Obviously,
it was a penny slot?
That's
Dude,
the only one I will ever play. Dude, no, yeah, because they have options, you know what I mean? Like, it goes up to, like, 40, and then you get, like, wild card ones. You get ones where, like, they'll have rows of wild cards.
Here's the shit about the penny slots, right? Is they'll be like, yo, bet, like, 3 times on 4 lines or some shit, and you bet, like, this number, right? Say, like, 75 cents, penny slot, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm betting pennies, but it's like really not. You're betting quarters.
Well,
you're betting silver change within the
fair,
pennies,
fair.
right? These motherfuckers are lying to you, dude. And then it goes ding, 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 like you win, but then you end up like if you bet 75 cents, you like win 20 cents back, like, and it goes all crazy, like you fucking. Nobody knows what's going on with penny slots, dude. You just try.
I don't know, man. There's many an old lady who frequent the penny slots that would argue.
Because they got many old lady money, though. They got many old lady money, though. They just sitting out there cashing out. They're like, yo, I used to be.
Yeah, I don't think they're saying it like that.
No, I got a carton of cigarettes, and I'm going to go win me the big one.
No, it's morning. You got a carton of cigarettes. Yeah.
I've got a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Fucking smoking cigarettes. It's all right. I like to smoke the terrible fucking black American spirits, fucking the worst ones of American spirits that you can get because like smoke like half of them, throw them out, dude. Then sometimes I'll smoke the whole one. I'm like, ooh, shit. Those are fucking gnarly. You don't smoke those. You smoke, what do you smoke? Like menthol pre-packed?
Well, it's menthol tobacco and then regular papers. But yeah, I roll my own cigarettes.
But you don't roll them though, right? You put them in
tobacco.
the injector thing.
Yeah. I have a machine
Roll
that
'em.
pushes
This
tobacco.
guy thinks she's a cut. No.
No, man, it's just a machine. Like you have pre-rolled tubes with the filter in them, and then it pushes tobacco into it.
Here's the thing, though. Have you ever taken a cigarette and held it under a black light? Like a Marlboro or just some cigarette?
Yeah, because I think
Not when you're like going through the fucking whorehouse and you're like, or the bar or some shit, and you just got one in your ear.
Yeah.
You actually like, dude, I used to have a fucking black light that was 4 feet tall. Just some nerd ass shit, right?
Yeah.
And then I fucking took a cigarette and I held it underneath it, dude, and it sprayed. It's like dipped in shit, and you're like, not digging it.
Yeah, dude. Well, because it is mostly chemicals in those like Marlboro cigarettes, and menthol especially has a lot of shit going on in it under a black light.
Yeah, dude, especially menthol.
Yeah,
For sure, for that minty freshness. But if they made cigarettes to where you could smoke them, and then like at the end there was like a little breath in it, so you'd be like, bite it, just bite it out of the fucking end, just.
I don't know. Isn't that what dip is for though? Like that's what chewing tobacco is
Chewing's
for.
worse though.
Whoa,
Chewing's worse, dude.
No, probably no. Because here's the thing.
Chewing's
Ultimately,
different.
everyone,
No, chewing's a heart and a lung or a fucking tongue and a lip. You know,
Yeah.
right? Like, where's the kicker?
I mean, the heart, dude, the literal thing that kicks your life into existence every day. Like,
Good point. I'll take that for sure. The fucking heart. But then you get those people that are like, yeah, I've been smoking cigarettes for 40 years. You're like, what?
yeah, man.
That's possible. I want to smoke cigarettes that long just so I can outdo that guy.
Yeah.
Corey.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I am.
So
here.
who are your favorite comics that you like?
Oh, well, I like a lot.
Like favorite comics. No, I'm not talking open
fan.
mic comics. I'm
Right.
like saying
No,
big
I'm
dudes.
saying, like, even still, like, I'm in it because I am a huge fan of it. So, Mitch Hedberg is like number one favorite, probably. Let's go with number two. Fuck. I'll just fuck it. I won't chronologic or.
I think it's actually kind of a
number it,
shitty
but
question for me to even ask because
It's
like
fine. It's
like
just
what I
something
said,
I care about,
like
right?
what I said is like I like all comedians as long as they're not boring and fake, dude.
But I mean, because right, you do have preferences and all. Daniel Tosh, honestly, his like first set, like his Comedy Central special, and then his like first hour were fucking mind blowing to me. That shit was hilarious.
He's dope for
Yeah.
sure. No, he's dope for sure. Like anybody that you probably say I'm gonna fucking dig.
Yeah. Honest, I like musical comedy a lot too. That's some of the best to re-listen to,
What
like
is it, like
Stephen
like
Lynch.
Spinal Tap?
No, well, yeah, but I mean, like, there's stand-up performers who also incorporate music
They're also
too.
voice actors and all kinds of shit too. Isn't it like some of those guys? They're like the voices on The Simpsons.
Yeah, in Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I like Stephen Lynch. Have you ever heard of him?
He's a performer, music
Yeah.
guitar player, right?
Yeah. He does funny songs. I like funny songs too. Him, Bo Burnham, and Tim Minchin.
Bo Burnham's dope.
Yeah,
For sure.
Tim Minchin played with a full orchestra, and that was amazing to me. Like, the perfect juxtaposition between stand-up and a fucking full-on orchestra was awesome.
That is cool. Fuck, man. I think that's one of those concepts to where you're like, yeah, that's really interesting. To where it's like you see bands like Pink Floyd, and they're like, yeah, let's record this album in Bombay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they just get weird on the 5th or 6th one. Led Zeppelin went to India and made some weird music. Fucking the Beatles took acid, had a new fucking revolution.
Why not though? You know? Why not though? Like art performers, people that like just regular people and shit. Like we're, obviously not everybody wants to be a performer. I guess, but it's also like those people, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, fucking the guys in Pink Floyd or Metallica. Aren't they people that other people kind of try to vicariously live through?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why we all go to. That's why they're larger than life.
Like even characters that actors portray, people try to vicariously live through those characters.
Yeah.
So isn't that kind of like it's a beautiful thing because it's like I don't know, it's like why not? Like it allows a lot of fucking growth through like self-identity. It helps because even though like the characters they're portraying aren't fucking the known people, they're out there somewhere in the world. I'm sure there's somebody that's like Forrest Gump fucking, like there's got to be
Well, yeah, and that's what the internet has helped us to understand. You know what I mean? We are now more aware that the world is bigger. Like, it still sucks, but we're more aware of it.
It doesn't have to suck, though. It doesn't need to suck. It only sucks if you think it sucks.
It might need to suck in order for it to be good. That's what some people say anyway.
It's just all possibility, You can't, like,
I like to think of it as expanding. Like, everything is getting bigger.
I like to think of it as, like, what's that? Neapolitan ice cream, right? Like, it's got the vanilla, the strawberry, and the chocolate in there and shit. And sometimes you just want all of, like, the one flavor, And then you get the other flavors in there, and you're like, oh, but it's like, ugh. I don't know. Maybe not.
Neapolitan's hard. I don't like that extra.
I don't know. You're saying like it's like no. It's back.
I'm not a huge fan of strawberry.
It's back to like being the bitter with the sweet. Like, is there somebody?
Without the
is
bitter,
there somebody
the sweet
every,
ain't
is
so
there,
sweet.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is there somebody every single time that's going for the Neapolitan ice cream and they're scooping for all 3 flavors of ice cream at the same time, or is there the one person that's like going for the one specific flavor? Just trying to get the chocolate, just trying to get whatever the fucking, just get in the middle, try to get the strawberry out of there. And they're like, fuck, I hate vanilla, but I love strawberry, but I'll take it,
Yeah.
Like the bitter sweets.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, there's gonna be those different types of people involved in it. Like,
having anything in, I think, like, striving, like, for perfection is gonna be just ridiculous, because it doesn't exist, dude.
Yeah.
Except for like whatever
better.
Maybe some people like absolute perfection to where I guess oh my god, this sounds so crazy. Absolute perfection to where like fucking maybe where you see it, it's like you're like God or whatever perceives this as absolute perfection, right? Compared to like everybody has their own like ideals of what perfection is. Some people want to just live out in a fucking shack with 30 acres, you know? Go out there, hunt deer. Fucking got a fresh stream going through there. It's cool. Some people want to be rich and famous forever. You know? Have fucking everybody just at their disposal. Disposal is such the worst fucking word for people. At my disposal. Like fucking what, dude? That's so like the worst way to treat anybody. And be like, I want to reciprocate love back to me, but people are at my disposal. That's so gross.
Yeah.
I want people to love me, but I want to shit on them.
Yeah, man. That's narcissism, right? That's I don't know. Yeah, that's not the way that you're supposed to be. It's life. Everything reflects cause and effect, and energy transfer are the same thing. Like, you present negative shit, you are most likely to receive negative shit back. But if you stay positive, you'll still mostly get negativity, but it kind of like offsets it
as you
sometimes.
should, though.
But yeah, you
As
still
you should.
strive to do better. That's what I like to look at it as. You can't strive for perfection. You just try and make things better as much as you can. And it's hard to encapsulate like the whole cultural aspect of it, but I like to personalizely reference, like, all I know is who I am. All I can do is try to make myself better, understand these things that go on and how people end up doing, because that's a real thing. People do end up seeing love like I should receive the love, and it doesn't matter what I do to you, you should just love me. And that's something that you have to be aware of and understand that that's not how it's supposed to work. And all you can do is try and influence people around you who have an interest in being better and trying to see the world as you do, to inform them. All you can do is give people information when they're ready to learn it. That's mostly what it is.
And just try to
and traffic sucks in LA.
And just try to put your best foot forward, you know? Be the best person that you can represent yourself as being. You know? And everybody's got fucking falters, you know? Everybody's got cracks.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a joke, Corey.
But it's true. And that's what everyone has cracks, man. Like,
especially ass cracks. Bam!
Yep,
you like that shit, dude?
See,
comedy. Fuck, man. You look like you're enamored in your phone conversation
I am,
there.
dude. I'm such an asshole.
That's
and
cool.
It's on camera that I'm just a fucking mindless. I've had to look at it a couple times. Like, it doesn't look like I'm just stroking my dick over here, right? Like, it's the phone.
Dude, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's just like, dude, Corey's out here getting game out in these streets, bro. Gotta be
inaccurate.
Gotta be tum-tilling, bro. We fucking, hey, let's wrap this up, huh?
Nah.
Fucking, are you down? No? Or do you want to drink some more beer? We're at about 53 seconds.
Yeah, 53.
Yeah? 53
I don't know,
seconds?
Man. Yeah. I do kind of want a cigarette break. Usually,
yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about? It's an open conversation. Anything you want to say? Microphone.
Oh yeah, that's right. This thing's here, and people
are
probably staring at me.
It's like trying to make a living out of talking into a microphone. Like, what? These microphones these days. Come on, how comfortable are you?
I'm still a ways off from a living from this shit. I'm still trying to figure out if people actually think I'm funny. How much of it are they laughing at me? But if anyone is interested, I'm on the social media things. That's something that exists. It's all my name, Cory Hauger, CoryHauger. And
it's interesting. Your last name is always like, it looks like it says like caught. You know how like caught makes that sound? The A-U?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people probably fuck that up, huh?
Yeah, I have to capitalize
The very
it
first time I saw it, I fucked it up, and probably a couple times after that as well.
It's fine.
I got it.
I learned to incorporate it in the minutes, you know what I mean? But they started with like hanger. Like people were misreading my U for an N and like going with hanger, and
Well,
that's
because
not
they're dumb.
great connotation, right?
Hey, shut up. No.
But I appreciate this time. If anyone's still listening to this, thank you.
Nobody's listening to
This
it.
has
Yeah,
been
bro.
dope.
I record these and then I post them and then people listen to them
Well,
later.
yeah, but you know, it's always good to spread goodwill. Like, I can't not break the fourth wall in it. I guess I like that a lot. Deadpool is my favorite comic book character. I'll just throw that in there. I like Deadpool.
Yeah? Deadpool's dope. I don't know. Fuck, man. My favorite fucking character used to be Batman until fucking Ben Affleck got caught, like, cast as Batman, and I was like, dude, DC is fucked.
Yeah.
As soon as he got cast as Batman, I was like, done. Everything's fucking done, dude. Ben Affleck sucks ass, dude.
I don't know. He was
he's not a Batman. He's not a Batman.
Here's the thing. He's a good Bruce Wayne. Like I dug that Bruce Wayne a bit.
No, dude.
But yeah, I don't know. He was a good Justice League Batman. Because he would throw for some reason, Superman's all moody, broody.
I think it also has to
Batman's
do with
the
all
fucking
all
comic
those
relief.
writers as well. You know?
Yeah.
It has to do with a lot of that shit, dude. A lot of them just suck, dude. They should have let fucking. Oh man, it's like how many times are you gonna redo Spider-Man though, too? You know, like yeah, but I thought the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was cool. The very first fucking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was pretty cool, right?
The second Tobey Maguire one,
And
was
then they tried to
probably
bring
better, but
Venom
yeah.
into it, and Venom was just like, what in the fuck is this shit?
I still
dude?
haven't seen Venom. Oh, you mean the Spider-Man 3 Venom?
Yeah, the Spider-Man 3 Venom, dude.
Topher Grace.
That's
Yeah.
just no good, dude.
It was the emo Spider-Man and then Topher Grace's Venom. It wasn't great.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And also
He's not even the
Sandman.
same size as Venom,
Yeah.
right? Like, Venom's supposed to be a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah.
Like, Brock Lesnar could have been... The actual Brock Lesnar could have been Venom in fucking...
Yeah, Eddie Brock.
fucking Spider-Man.
Eddie Brock.
Tom Hardy did all right. Corey, thank you very much for fucking joining me for this.
Thank you
Let's
for
close
having
this
me.
motherfucker down.
Appreciate you.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
It's been fun, dude.
It has been fun. I appreciate this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I appreciate
you
it as
again.
well, dude.
Thank
It's
you.
raining outside. We're doing our fucking
Yeah,
thing,
man.
bro. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good fucking night or day.